Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. These guys really think that we have an attention span of about 3 minutes, so they can tell us something about an issue right here, and after about 3 minutes, they can tell us the opposite of the same issue they told us here after 3 minutes, and they expect us to say, "Oh, okay." Well, unfortunately for them, there are people like you and I who don't have an attention span of only 3 minutes. We got about 4 minutes. So, what happened here? You know that Mr. Erdogan, the president again elect of Turkey, people have spoken, democracy at work. He got re-elected, and I don't know if you're familiar with the issues, but the European Union, United States of America don't really like Mr. Erdogan. I think you're very familiar with the issue. Even the Turks, complained and they argued and said they accused Sweden of interfering in their elections. They accused the United States indirectly for the coup in 2016. Obviously, they don't say it was them, but you gotta be below 3 minutes attention span, to what I mean. So he's not really wanted by the European Union, and he was accused. Under his leadership, Turkey was accused as being a traitor in NATO, together with Hungary, because if you don't follow their orders, then you're called names and so on, blackmail, threats, regime change and all that. So they tried a regime change. They tried now to pump all kind of money and NGOs and all that and support for the opposition of Mr. Erdogan, and he still won. I was having some conversations with some friends of mine, and one of them said, well, if Erdogan loses the election, he's stupid. He said he's been in power for so long, he should not be losing. And his argument was he should have everything ready. Every little institution should be under his control, therefore he cannot lose, if you know what I mean. I said, well, we'll find out. These guys, work in mysterious ways, if you know what I mean. So let's see with this article that actually they tell us that actually the Europeans love Erdogan. Didn't you know that? And this comes from none other than the Telegraph. So I don't know what's wrong with the Telegraph. I never really paid attention, but it seems like they make some statements. I tell you you're beautiful today, and tomorrow I say you're ugly as fuck. This is basically the Telegraph. Look and please read only this title, because when I read it, I was like, Jesus Christ, these guys are comedians, clowns, they're Zelenskys. So, the Telegraph. Europe breathes sigh of relief as Erdogan remains in power in Turkey. So, if I understand it correctly, Europe is happy that Erdogan remains in power. No, I think so. They're like this. Oh, that's fantastic, Erdogan. Thank you, Erdogan. Do you believe that? How is that possible? How is that possible? And let me read you the first sentence here. None of them would ever admit it, but European leaders will be breathing a sigh of relief now that Erdogan has been re-elected. What? So they have a lot of friends. And the last line here says this, and this is the most important, I think. Where is it? Come on, baby doll. Here it is. Mr. Erdogan may be impossible to like, but has made himself very useful. So, you see, may be impossible to like. You speak in the name of whom? Obviously, a lot of people like him. His nation likes him. He got re-elected democratically, right? But he has made himself very useful. Well, useful to whom? Not to you. He showed balls. He showed a lot of, how should I put it? I don't want to say fairness, but he worked for his country. With everything he did over there, he didn't care. Hey, I'm in NATO, but I'm going to deal with the Russians. Well, I'm not in the European Union, but I'm going to deal with the Ukrainians. He made that little deal, helped that deal come together between the Russians and the Ukrainians, the grain deal. And I think that the Russians tried to help him with that deal. If you remember, about a week and a half ago or so, they were talking, or maybe a little bit more. They were talking. The Russians were talking about, I'm not gonna participate in this deal with the grain because our fertilizer is not allowed to be. It's still sanctioned, and we can't sell it as per the agreements and the grain deal and so on. And then all of a sudden, the Russian says, yes, we're okay with the grain deal. Why? I thought that was just to help Erdogan, so Erdogan can come in front of his people and say, hey, you know what? And I secured this. I'm the broker here. I talked to the Russians, I talked to the Europeans, I talked to the Americans. I'm you know what I mean? And I'm expecting the US to plug on the thing, plug it off and say bye-bye. Maybe in about a week, the Russians will say, you know what? We don't want to participate in that grain deal anymore. Too late, Erdogan got elected, so now we can be ourselves. But the other ones, remember, Erdogan accused, not Erdogan, it was the foreign minister, I think accused Sweden of interference, some NGOs of interference, Western interference in the election, and so on. Remember 2016, Erdogan and others accused the United States indirectly of organizing, or at least supporting, the 2016 coup to take him out, like they did in Ukraine. So Erdogan did not forget that. And now supposedly they all breathe a sigh of relief because he got elected. How bad would have been the other one? I don't think so, because the other one wanted to veer towards Europe and be, of the big master. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what's the next move. I mean, not even like that. We'll find out. Well, congratulations, Mr. Erdogan. You are democratically elected and you have balls. That's for sure. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.